What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we're going to be taking a look at some new Brobnar cards that were revealed on the official Fantasy Flight Games Twitch account. They played some games. There were some new cards, and I, with set 2, am taking it upon myself to bring you all of the new cards as we see them. So let's have a look at Brobnar. And let's have a look at Foos. I should mention that we did have some cards from Brobnar previously, so many that they had to actually be split across 2 videos, both videos linked in the description. So Foos then, 5 power creature. Now, if this was Shadows, 5 power would be great. 5 power would make it the joint second strongest creature in the house, at least going by wave 1. But not Brobnar. Brobnar's got things like Earthshaker and King of the Crag that are 7 costs. Troll, which is an 8 cost. And of course, let's not forget Khalifi Dragon, the literal biggest, baddest creature in the whole of Wave 1. Yeah, Brobnar's pretty big. So 5 for Brobnar, honestly, not particularly impressive, unfortunately. Not terrible, but for Brobnar, yeah, we can do better. No elusive, no skirmish, none of that. What we see is a reap ability. If an enemy creature has been destroyed this turn, gain 1 ember. Now, reap abilities are not ones we often see on Brobnar. If we go back to set 1, it was literally only Troll that had a reap ability. That was the only Brobnar creature in set 1 that had any reap ability. And that was just healing itself, which incidentally made Troll great at fighting, which was kind of annoying because the reaping heal. But anyway, so what we see here is, if an enemy creature has been destroyed this turn, you gain 1 ember. But remember what I just told you about Brobnar creatures. Brobnar creatures tend to be really good at fighting. They tend to be these big, bad creatures. So you're probably going to be destroying a bunch of stuff if you're rolling in a Brobnar deck. So actually, this is really nice. As long as you're getting a KO, you're destroying something, and the wording here is important. It is if an enemy creature has been destroyed this turn, gain 1 ember. It does not say if it has been destroyed in a fight. So something like the action card Punch, which deals 3 damage to a creature, that would still activate this ability. You're probably going to be destroying creatures if you're playing Brobnar, so this basically gives you double reap. When you reap, instead of gaining 1 ember, you gain 2. It's alright. It's not some kind of stunning game-breaking redonk card, but as a, hey, double reaping, cool. I am all in favour. We're also getting a bit of the old Groke. Groke is another 5 power creature, which as we've said is fine, but not great for Brobnar. And when you fight, your opponent loses 1 ember. Now, I should mention at this stage the rule that fight abilities only come into play if you survive the fight. If you get destroyed during the fight, you're not there to use your ability at the end of the fight. So, you've got to be taking on something, frankly, weaker than yourself. You've got to take down something a little bit weaker. So if you find yourself against a Chuff Ape, bad news, you're going down and you're not using this ability. But if you find yourself against something like an Ember Imp, I tend to use this as an example quite a bit because it's a really annoying but not terribly strong creature. Ember Imp restricts you to playing 2 cards during your turn. That's quite annoying. So you'll take that down, you'll take 2 damage, but it'll be fine because you'll make your opponent lose an Ember. And you don't really gain anything here. Your opponent loses an Ember, you don't gain anything. So stealing is where you take 1 from them, you gain, they lose. Capturing, you take 1, but they'll get it back at some point if the creature goes down. Or leave play, to be honest. It doesn't have to be destroyed, just has to leave play. Whereas loses, you just take 1 away from them. Or I suppose you make them lose 1, you don't actually take it. It's fine, it's not as good as stealing 1. We would much prefer that you actually stole an Ember. That would be wonderful. As it is, fine. I mean, look, we looked at Ronnie Wristclocks the other day, one of the new Shadows creatures, and when you play that, you steal an Ember, but if they've got 7 or more, you steal 2. Having said that, Shadows do tend to steal Ember, and also, that's a 2-power creature. It ain't lasting more than a minute. Incidentally, if you find yourself against Ronnie Wristclocks, do please feel free to destroy it, and then your opponent will lose an Ember while you do so. Again, this doesn't strike me as a particularly stunning, amazing, brilliantly, game-breakingly awesome card. It's fine. And look, the whole point of this game is forging keys. It's literally called Keyforge. So that means that anytime your opponent's about to forge a key, you want to stop them. That's pretty much the point. And here, making them lose an Ember, I mean, if they've got 7 Ember and there's nothing out like Lash of Broken Dreams that increases the cost of forging a key, then you play this and you bring them from 6 down to 5, and then all of a sudden they don't get to forge a key. It's fine, but it's not amazing. But the best of the 3 new Brobnar cards that was revealed the other day, as far as I'm concerned anyway, is the action card Into the Fray. When you play it for the remainder of the turn, a friendly Brobnar creature gains fight. Ready this creature. And this could be really, really fun. Because you see, this is not limited to once during your turn. You can keep fighting. So Into the Fray, you give it to a creature, I don't know, let's say Khalifi Dragon, because it's Mahusive. And then you fight. Hey, you destroy something. Ooh. Whether you destroyed them or not, to be honest, hey, you survived the fight. Ready this creature. So you fight again, and as long as you fight, you ready this creature. And as long as you always survive the fight, you always ready the creature. Now, the rule of 6 clearly is going to come in here. The rule of 6 says that essentially you can only use a card 6 times, or play a card 6 times, to stop looping happening round. For fairly obvious reasons. Otherwise, it just gets a little bit silly. But what we're looking for here is a Brobnar creature with Skirmish. Because Skirmish means that when you fight, you don't take any damage back. Which means that if you use Into the Fray here, you fight, you don't take any damage, because you've got Skirmish, so you're guaranteed to survive. Brilliant. And then you fight, and you don't take any damage, and you fight, and you don't take any damage, and you fight, and you don't take any damage, and so on and so forth. Now, the bad news is that if we look at set 1, there is not a single Brobnar creature that has Skirmish, which is a little bit upsetting. And to be fair, we've not seen many Brobnar creatures from Wave 2, but none of the ones we've seen have Skirmish. So what you could do here is just use something massive like Khalifi Dragon, and essentially it gets to fight 6 times. I'm fairly sure the rule of 6 would come in here and be like, look, you've just used this 6 times, you don't get to use it anymore. But that's fine. If you take out 6 creatures, that's brilliant. That sounds alright by me. But I think Skirmish is the best way to use this, and there is a way we've got. And if you've got any others, please do let me know in the comment section. But we've got Way of the Wolf. Way of the Wolf is an upgrade card that we saw in set 1, and that, when you attach it to a creature, gives them Skirmish. Now, it's an untamed card, but upgrades can go on any house. It doesn't have to go on an untamed creature just because it's an untamed upgrade. Now, this may or may not be in set 2. We don't know. We've not received that list yet. But even if it isn't in set 2, remember that there is such a thing as legacy cards, which are Call of the Archons cards, which are going to end up in Age of Ascension. Or, to be honest, any card from a previous set that ends up in a newer set. So it could be Age of Ascension cards turning up in set 2, 3, 4, etc. We have no information about any of those sets because, well, they're months away. Just chill. It's fine. Let's just get excited about Age of Ascension. We can worry about the others later. So look, Brobnar creatures don't tend to have Skirmish. And the wording here is very clear. You can only give a Brobnar creature this skill. You can only give a Brobnar creature fight ready this creature. So maybe you use a big boy, or maybe you find something like Way of the Wolf or some other way, because there's going to be more printed in the future, to give yourself Skirmish and just get rolling. And I'm fairly sure that the rule of 6 here would stop you doing it until you cleared your opponent's board, because seriously, if you're not taking any damage, and every time you survive a fight you get to fight again, yeah, that's ridiculous. And incidentally, then after you finished wiping their board, you'd be ready and would be able to reap and gain an ember. It would be dumb. So the rule of 6, this seems pretty much like what it was made for. It's difficult to give a creature skirmish, but it's possible. And don't tell me there's not going to be other ways in the future, because we all know there are. So I am very excited about this, ladies and gentlemen. For Foos, I think that's what it's called, and Groke, meh, not so into it. But Into the Fray, oh, I'm a huge fan of Into the Fray. And you know, even if there's not that many, there are going to be some decks that get Into the Fray and are frankly dumb. So this is the point of the video where I would very much like to know what you think about these new cards. So please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, but please do remember the rule. Be nice, would you? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk Keyforge and we talk other games. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would you? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.